Alright, this is section 8.4. We are going to multiply, divide, and of course simplify rational expressions. So, simplifying rational expressions basically means we have no common factors in the numerator and denominator. So what it means by common factor or common term is it means you see multiplication somewhere. So for instance, we have 4 times x plus 3 on the top, and then we have x minus 5 times x plus 3 on the bottom. So since there's an x plus 3 on top and bottom, these two are just going to cancel, and I am left with 4 divided by x minus 5. This is very simple, but now we're going to have to do it with factoring. So I'm going to have to look at this equation and say, okay, what two numbers multiply together to be 16 and add together to be negative 8? And I think x minus 4 times x minus 4, because negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Negative 4 plus negative 4 is negative 8. And then the next one, I'm going to have two numbers that multiply together to be negative 24 and add together to be 2, so x plus 6 and then x minus 4. Now notice I have a minus 4 on both of them, so I can cross them out. So my answer is going to end up being x minus 4 over x plus 6. So simplifying is all about factoring and then canceling things out. So the next one, I'm going to look at it here and say, ooh, on the top I can factor out the greatest common factor, which is x. So I have x times x plus 7 over x squared. Now keep in mind that x squared is the same as x times x, so I can rewrite this as x times x. Now this is still multiplication, so my x's can cancel, so then I have x plus 7 divided by x. Now notice that my x is being multiplied. I cannot cancel this x because I have 7 being added to the x. Okay, and lastly I want you to do this one, and I will check it in class. Okay, next thing we're going to do is multiplying rational expressions. Now, as I look at this first one, I think, okay, I can reduce this. It doesn't have to be this big giant thing, because 8 divided by 2 is 4 over 1, so I can change this to be 4 over 1, and then x cubed divided by x is really x squared on top, and then y divided by y squared is going to leave me with 1y on the bottom. And then I'm going to multiply this. 7 and 4 don't reduce, so that's going to say 7 and 4. And then x to the 4th, there's no x on the bottom, so that's going to stay x to the 4th. And then y cubed divided by y is going to leave me with y squared on the top. Now, if I look, all of this stuff gets jammed together when I multiply straight across. So I have a 4 here on the bottom, and I also have a 4 on the top, so those can cancel. And now I have a y on the bottom over here, and I can get rid of this squared and just make it y to the first power because I'm dividing y squared by y. So then I'm just left with x squared times 7x to the 4th power times y. And then I have x squared times x to the 4th. And remember, I add my exponents when I am multiplying. So I have 7x to the 6th times y as my answer. Okay, the next one. We have this big long equation, and it looks messy, but it'll be fine. It says factor the numerator as step 1. Okay, so looking at this, what can I pull out of this? I can pull out 2x. So I have 2x times x minus 5 divided by, and then this is difference of squares, so I have x plus 5 and x minus 5 as my factors, times x plus 3 over 2x squared. So now I have this stuff. This cancels. Now this I can rewrite if it's 2x squared, I can rewrite this as 2x times x. So then my 2x's cancel. So then I am left with, sorry, let's go to step 3. I skipped a step. Divide out the common factor. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to get rid of all of my pieces that are common. So I am left with 1 over x plus 5 is equal to x plus 3 divided by x, or multiply. So then I can rewrite in simplified form. So I have 1 times x plus 3, so I have x plus 3 on the top, divided by x times x plus 5 on the bottom. And then that is done. So I multiplied these two expressions together. Alright, and the last one, I want you to try to do this by yourself. I'm going to give you a hint and tell you you're going to have to factor each different piece, but once you factor them, it'll cancel out nicely and it will look good. So don't freak out, but I want you to try it and I will check it tomorrow. Have a good night.